Today, Ramapo College has the privilege of recognizing Senator Robert Menendez not only for his long-standing commitment to public service in the state of New Jersey, but particularly for his strong advocacy for high-quality education for all, a tenet upon which this college was founded. Senator Menendez supported a recent legislation on student loan reform, which was signed by the President and which will ultimately make college more affordable. This law also eliminates subsidies for big banks and private lenders and allows for the reinvestment of those savings into education programs. Pell Grants also receive a major boost through an investment of $36 billion over 10 years under this program. This important legislation will give students increased access to higher education. In addition to his passion for education, Senator Menendez has been working on achieving economic security for families through job creation, the promotion of clean energy development, and making health care more affordable. Senator Menendez, in recognition of your unwavering commitment to making a real difference in the lives of New Jerseyans, for your continual efforts to champion higher education issues, and for your belief in standing up for what's right, no matter how powerful the opposition, I ask that you come forward, and at this time I also ask Chairman Sabbath to come forward and assist in the conferring of the degree. I will read the citation, and then Chairman Sabbath will hood Senator Menendez. Senator Menendez, yours is the quintessential American story. The son of immigrants, you have risen to become a leader among the 100 United States senators. A product of New Jersey's public schools and universities, you entered public service as a 19-year-old college student when you witnessed shortcomings in the public education system and launched a successful drive to reform your local school board. You have served as a school board member, a mayor, and a state legislator. In 1993, you were elected to the U.S. House of Representatives. In 2006, you were appointed to the U.S. Senate. And later that year, you won election to a full 6-year term. You have worked to achieve economic security by creating jobs, promoting clean energy development, providing tax relief, investing in education, making health care more affordable, and protecting consumers. You have been recognized for your leadership in promoting family health and safety, and have earned national recognition for your role in reforming the country's intelligence and public health systems. You have supported our troops by providing them with the equipment they need, along with high-quality medical care and education benefits. You have worked to ensure that all children have access to a good quality and affordable education, and you've made improving educational opportunities a reality, from the promises of No Child Left Behind to increasing Pell Grants and low-cost student loan, and otherwise expanding student opportunities. In celebration of your work and in recognition of your contributions to the public good, the Ramapo College Board of Trustees grants you the degree of Honorary Doctor of Laws on this day, May the 14th, in the year 2010. I now invite to the podium our distinguished speaker, the Honorable Dr. Robert Menendez, United States Senator for New Jersey.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Mercer, for your kind introduction. To President Mercer of the Board of Trustees, its Chairman, A.J. Sabbath, for the distinct honor. This was easier than the JD I got at Rutgers Law, so I wish I could have achieved it as fast. To the professors, administrators, and staff here at Ramapo, to the parents, family, and friends gathered here together, and to all of you, the class of 2010, this is your special day. Congratulations on a job well done. Now, I know this is your moment, but I want you to stand up look at your parents, your loved ones, your family, and thank them for being with you. Give them a round of applause because they're part of this process as well. I join with them in saying, "Go Roadrunners," with all the blazing speed you can muster. Beep, beep. Like the original Warner Brothers Roadrunner. All of that invincibility and supreme confidence. Now, looking out at all of you, I'm reminded of the importance of education to our democracy. John Madison said, "What spectacle can be more edifying or more seasonable than that of liberty and learning, each leaning on the other for their mutual and sure support?" This commencement is a celebration of both liberty through the liberal arts and a celebration of learning, and I'm honored to share the day with you. You have benefited from a unique learning experience of the intellectual community that is Ramapo. As a nationally respected public liberal arts college, one of the best in America, Ramapo puts a premium not just on learning, but on intellect, on the fundamental framework of a good, solid liberal arts education. It has not trained you so much for a particular task, but taught you to think analytically so that any challenge and all possibilities are open to you. And the faculty here has given you the kind of individual attention that has made your chances of moving on to graduate school or to a successful career more likely than at many other institutions. Your professors have been true mentors of an innovative learning experience, helping many of you with thoughtful, insightful undergraduate research projects that will put you in good stead as you move on from here. In short, Ramapo has set you apart from many of your peers in what has been called the millennial generation, born wholly to the digital age. Your generation has powered to life extraordinary changes. You have used technology to revolutionize the way we socialize, the way we talk to each other, the way we interact with each other on Facebook, on blogs, or in 140 characters on Twitter. You've used the wonders of technology to drive ideas, to achieve social change. In essence, you've altered the very concept of community, the way in which we interact with our friends and our society as a whole. And with that comes an extraordinary responsibility to use these tools and your education to keep the spirit of community alive, to find new ways to empower yourselves within the community, and new ways to shape the future and give something back. Your generation has a willingness to think outside not just the box, but outside of traditional limits. On that overdrive of technological advancement that defines your generation hangs the fate of the world. It is a good thing. That's the good part. Many of you are probably sitting there now, tweeting, or maybe even live blogging your entire commencement experience. And if you are tweeting, please say something good about the commencement speaker. But seriously, you've worked and learned and tweeted and texted and Googled yourself here. And the question becomes, where does your generation take those wonderful gifts, and what will they mean in the context of your lives and the betterment of society as a whole? That is the question before you. How will you preserve, how will you build, how will you redefine the concept of community in the digital age and contribute to the body politic? The fact is, in that many ways, you already have. You helped elect a president, no small accomplishment. And the question I know many of you are asking is, what happened? Experts tell us that many of your generation have become disenchanted with the political process. Some of you may have even lost faith in government. Some of you may have even lost faith in the American dream. Many are concerned about paying their student loans, and a recent poll said that only 14% of this year's graduates believe it will be easy finding a job. More than 8 in 10 said it would be difficult. There is no doubt that you are graduating into the beginnings of a recovery of one of the deepest, hardest recessions in our history. It is a difficult job market with global pressures. But you have one thing that is going to make a huge difference, and that is a Ramapo college education. What you've learned here is going to take you very, very far. If like many in your generation you believe it doesn't matter, that the American dream is not there for you, I want to tell you that you are sadly wrong. I'm here to tell you the dream is alive, and the education you received here is the key that will unlock 1,000 doors to help you achieve it. But hard work, the drive, the courage, the ambition, the intellectual investment, that's up to you. You can choose to sit back and accept the future as it comes your way, or you can choose to use your skills and shape it, to take all that has been given to you and make a difference. Some of you may know I was born to Cuban refugees who wanted nothing more than to give their children the best education they could offer. In my case, like I am sure so many of you, a strong family set my course in life. I grew up poor in a tenement in Union City, the first in my family to go to college. I was not on a likely trajectory to be one of 100 United States senators in a country of 300 million people. But I was fortunate enough to have a big push towards a life of service early on, surrounded by family, by nurturing teachers and mentors like those family members and professors seated around you today. They are the ones who deserve your praise and your thanks. They have set you on a course that will take you to a mountaintop on which you can reach for the stars. I was lucky enough to see America's promise fulfilled for me, a kid from Union City, and that's why I'm committed to working every day to make sure that promise is fulfilled for you and future generations of Americans, because I remember what it was like for that kid in the tenement in Union City. And when I look back, I think of the two reasons primarily why I was able to become a United States Senator. One was a caring family that stood by me and instilled in me the importance of getting a quality education. My mother, who passed away this past October, was a wonderful woman. She was my rock, and when anyone asks me who influenced me the most, I always say it was her. She left her country, left everything behind to come to freedom and to follow a dream. And she's the one who taught me that education is the key that it can unlock any door. And the second reason I was able to become a member of the United States Senate was the existence of Pell Grants and Perkin loans. I couldn't have done it any other way. So I know what a good education means. I know what it can do to change the life of a kid from Union City. And that's why I am committed to doing everything I can to see that every generation has the ability to be able to afford and go to college. We can't expect to compete in an increasingly competitive world if we don't invest in education to keep the United States at the apex of the curve of intellect, the most highly educated generation of Americans the nation has ever had. So I see that as making the world better, knowing that somewhere out there there is a young man or woman who but for the ability to go to college, has the skills, the desire, the intellect, the talent to develop the next Microsoft, the next Apple, the next Google, or to find a cure for cancer or the Alzheimer's that took my mother's wife away. From Thomas Edison's light bulb and Albert Einstein's genius to Drs. Willard Boyle and George Smith, who won the Nobel Prize in Physics this year for innovations in those cell phone cameras you're all using, these are all people who led the way for this nation, and they came from New Jersey, which has always been at the vanguard of innovation. And your generation can continue that tradition. You will meet great challenges of your time, find the next great innovation or discovery, as every generation has. So whether it's stopping the oil spill in the Gulf or helping new industries change our energy paradigm in order to create a cleaner, greener, smarter energy future, whether it's bringing our economy back from the brink of an economic meltdown or reforming Wall Street so that a free market is not a free-for-all market, whether it's ending 2 wars abroad that have taken the lives of too many young men and women, or finding the key to negotiating a lasting peace in the Middle East, or providing incentives to small, innovative biotech research companies to grow and create new jobs here in New Jersey for this new century. or whether it is passing historic health care insurance reform that will make sure all of you can stay on your parents' health care plan until you're 26. Every generation has their work cut out for them, and yours will be no different. And so it will be up to you to believe in yourself and your generation's ability to change the world, to accept the future or to shape it. You have all the tools at your fingertips. The infancy of the social media that we all have enjoyed in the last few years is coming to an end. And you will need to move it into its next age, because you are about to inherit, for better or for worse, a profoundly different world that will require profoundly different solutions. Where you take that technology, how you use the tools and the intellect that you have received here and refined here at Ramapo to engage the debate and address issues like our challenges of disease, global economic issues, our relationship with countries like China, the prospects for a lasting peace with the Middle East, defending this nation against the new threats of terrorism and nuclear proliferation we face, it will be ultimately in your capable hands. It will be up to you as to how we ultimately resolve the role and nature of government, a debate as old as the Union itself, but one that is becoming more intense and inflamed in the global village of unedited, unfiltered information available 24/7. Your challenge as a generation will be to find the truth, engage the debate, and use your skills, your knowledge, and your digital savvy to tame a political environment in which everyone seems to be perpetually angry at everyone on the other side of an issue. Your challenge as a generation will be to break through the noise and the chatter and determine who has the best ideas, not whose ideas are shouted the loudest. Your challenge will be to turn down the volume and find out whose ideas are right and whose are wrong. If someone tells us the world is flat, we have no obligation to listen to them or give them equal time, no matter how loudly they shout it or how deeply they believe it. Your challenge as a generation will be to make sure the new media and the new technologies help achieve what's best for America, not what satisfies a particular political agenda or some erroneous interpretation of reality. There are strong competing voices out there. You've all heard them. You've seen the unedited, unfiltered anger played out in blog posts and on cable television. If you read papers here in New Jersey, it's not even about respecting the democratic process anymore, but about finding a way to undo it simply because you disagree with the outcome of an election. There are those who believe their ideas are the only right ideas, the only American ideas, and that the best government is no government, and they would shout it from the rooftop even if no one was listening. But the rooftop is now a laptop, and millions of people are listening. I believe the right idea is that we're all Americans with the right to have different opinions and a collective obligation to respect the democratic process and the opinion of others. In my view, with all of our challenges, we are held together by an idea called democracy and a set of values formed from the wisdom of the ages, not the least of which is civility in our debates and respect for each other. Your challenge as a generation is to take the technological tools you have and the intellect you've enhanced here at Ramapo and engage in civil debate that strengthens the concept of community, each of us working together for the betterment of us all. There are plenty of voices these days of intolerance and fear on both sides of every issue. We hear them every day. But it's your generation, armed with social media skills, that have given you an ability to talk about anything to anyone, to invite everyone into your circle and call them friends. It's your generation that is listening to everyone's opinions. It's your generation that has learned to embrace our differences. And I believe it is your generation, more than any other, that is uniquely empowered to unite the world and make it a better, safer, greener, more peaceful, and prosperous place. You are more colorblind, more gender blind, faith blind, race, lifestyle, ethnic heritage blind than any other generation. And we can only hope that some of you will bring those unique gifts to Washington because the nation is sorely in need of them. We're facing serious times and challenges, and anger isn't an option. Disagreement is fine, but we need to be able to talk to each other as you do, to friend each other as you do so well and so easily. If this century is to be another great American century, and I think it can be, it will have to start with you, with your unique abilities and skills empowered by technology to do what is right and know what is right. It's all possible. It's all out there. It's all yours. You can accept the future, or you can shape it. So I hope that you will not lose faith in government, nor in those fundamentals, ideals that have made our country so strong. I ask you not to lose faith in the American dream, because the dream is alive. It is alive in the hearts and minds of all of the parents and grandparents here today who want you to achieve more than they could achieve for themselves. That was their American dream. The new American dream is up to you. It's up to you to imagine all you can imagine, to innovate, create, build, explore, invent, and discover. It's up all to you, empowered by your youth and the education you received here at Ramapo, to imagine new possibilities, use new tools to make those possibilities, those discoveries, a reality that will shape the future and change the world. In closing, let me just say that recognizing that one person has often shaped the course of history, Robert Kennedy observed, he said, a young monk began the Protestant Reformation. A young general extended an empire from Macedonia to the borders of the earth. A young woman reclaimed the territory of France. It was a young Italian explorer who discovered the New World, and a 32-year-old Thomas Jefferson who proclaimed that all men are created equal. Now, not all of us will change history, but you can all shape the future and make a difference. You have the time, you have the intellect, you have the skills, and you have a diploma from Ramapo to be able to prove it. The future is in your hands. I know, I believe, as someone who sees my future as in your hands, that it is a future, as the sun begins to break, that is going to be a shining of a new American century that you will fuel, you will make happen, and it will be a much greater future. Congratulations, class of 2010. You've earned it. Enjoy it. Godspeed.